Well, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me on this live webinar. I appreciate you taking the time to join me live here on this webinar, where we're going to be talking about how to take your auto repair shop from ordinary to extraordinary. So before we get started, before I start talking, talking my head off here, I just want to make sure that everybody can hear and see me. So if you go over to the chat box, I believe it's over here, just make sure that if you wouldn't mind just typing a yes in there, or a yes, I can see you, I can hear you, or yeah, baby, or something along that line, just to let me know that I am broadcasting and I'm not just talking to myself right here. Okay. So if you wouldn't mind, please do that. And then also, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and let me know where you're dialing in from. I know typically when I do my webinars, I get people from literally all over the world that are joining me on these webinars. So if you wouldn't mind, just let me know where you're dialing in from. Okay. Also, part of the housekeeping is I got to let you know, I've been on these webinars before in your seat. Okay. So I've been in that position where I'm sitting in front of a screen and there's a lot of things going on, so maybe you're at home, maybe you're at the shop, maybe you're, someplace where there's a lot of distractions. Heck, you might even be in a Starbucks on your laptop for all I know, but there's a lot of distractions going on around you. And let me tell you, I'm going to be pouring my heart and soul into this webinar. Okay. I'm going to be going full bore into this webinar, and I'll be fully present here with you. What I want to ask is that you do the very same thing on your end. In other words, you be 100% all in on this webinar, because I will be going fast. It's in some cases, it's going to feel like you're trying to take a sip from a fire hose, because I'm going to be going so fast. And I want you to be 100% present with me. So do yourself a favor, grab your cell phone, put the thing on vibrate, turn it off, actually, if you possibly can. Turn off that email, turn off Facebook, turn off everything other than what's right there in front of your face. And here's the reason why. Most people think that they can multitask. They can do more than one thing at a time. So you can watch me, you can listen to me, but you can also read the email that's coming in, or type something, or talk with somebody, or answer a phone call. And just because, excuse me, you hear my voice, you assume that you're actually hearing what the heck I'm saying. And I'm going to tell you, it's virtually impossible for that to happen. Our brain can only process one kind of thing at a time. So if you're listening to me and watching me, you cannot be reading email at the same time and process exactly what I'm saying. So please do yourself a favor, be fully present with me on this webinar, because I'm going to be going over some major league important stuff that you're going to want to know. And if you miss it, you miss it. Okay. And you're here to improve your business. I know that's the reason why you're here. So I want to make sure that you have the option to improve your business, because you know that you've heard everything I said. And another thing, if you have a pen and you have a piece of paper, grab them, get them in front of you, and take notes. And here's the reason why. I don't know if you're like me, but look, I'm in my mid-50s, okay, and my memory isn't as sharp as it used to be, okay? Maybe you've probably experienced the exact same thing before, but studies show, they call it the forgetfulness test or something like that. The studies, when they've tested people, they find that people forget, and that's just not us in the mid-50s, okay? Across the board, the average person forgets 50% of what they heard within 1 hour. Within 1 hour. So in other words, by the time we're done with this webinar, and I'm going to give you some really good points on this webinar, things that are so vital to your business, within 1 hour, they're going to be gone. Okay. And that's really going to suck, because, you think you're going to remember it and you're going to lose 50% of it. It happens, right? Sometimes you walk out of the room and forget what you're going to go get, okay? And that's not within an hour. So just because I said something and it's earth-shaking information to you, if you didn't write it down, it's going to be gone in 1 hour. Within 24 hours, in other words, tomorrow at this very same time, you will have forgotten 70% of what I'm talking about on this webinar. 70%, okay? And within 1 week, guess what? In a week from now, you're not going to remember 90% of what I said. So if that doesn't shake you up a little bit, I don't know what will. Okay, so focus 100% on what I'm talking about and write down notes. No matter how inconsequential, just get in the habit of just writing down as fast as you can almost everything that comes out of my mouth. Okay, because that's the only way you're going to be able to remember it, because you actually wrote it down. Okay, so enough housekeeping. Let's get rocking and rolling. Okay, so if you're an auto repair shop owner, you're in the right place. Now, if you're not an owner of an auto repair shop, you're welcome to stay, but this webinar is not for you. Okay, we're going to be talking about things that pertain to ownership of the business, because the owner is the one that controls everything, whether you like it or not. The owner is in control. And so I'm talking about control issues. I'm talking about things that are going to help take the business to the next level. And you as an employee you're not going to be able to use the information. Okay. So, but I do applaud you for showing up. Okay. In a lot of cases, it's the employees that show up and the owners don't bother to show up on things like this. And that's a darn shame. Okay. It really is the owner. The owner is the leader of the company. They've got to take charge and they need to be here. Okay. So if you're an employee and your owner is not here, good luck. Okay. You may be working for the wrong person. Okay. So I know you probably hate hearing that, and the rest of your owners probably cringed at that. But the reality is, look, you lead from the front. You don't lead from behind and push other people to do things that you're not willing to do yourself. Okay. That's a big part of taking your business from being ordinary and taking it to extraordinary. You've got to set the example. Okay. So that's maybe lesson number one. But let's talk about a little bit more about what this webinar is all about. Okay. So as I mentioned, it's going to be all about how to take your business from an ordinary business, an ordinary shop owner, to being an extraordinary shop owner and having an extraordinary business. And I'll explain what that really means in just a little bit. But along the way, because I've been doing this for a very long time, I've really developed 5 major factors that designate why some shops get the success they're looking for while everybody else just continues to struggle, or you might call it fail. Okay. And I know that's a little harsh, but the reality is you're either going to succeed or you're not. Okay. And I'm going to talk about the 5 major factors that I found out over being in this business for 21 years and watching thousands and thousands of auto repair shop owners. I've seen the ones that have been able to succeed, and I'm going to nail it down to 5 reasons why those that succeeded and did what they did, and while 95% of shops that are out there continue to struggle. Okay, so 5 factors. We're going to be going through that. And then we're going to show you how to apply what you learn to your shop. Okay, so this is not just information for information's sake. You want to be able to apply it to your shop, and that's what we're going to be talking about as well. Okay, because the reality is, let's see. Let's see. A lot of people are having problems and they're, I guess, being kicked offline. So I don't know exactly what's going on here with my internet connection. But for those of you let's see. I've got people saying that they can't see me. So hopefully, well, I'm going to go ahead because I know some people are able to see and I guess some others got kind of kicked off. So I do apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on here as if there was no problems. And I am sorry about all the problems that you've seen. So, I don't know what the problem is with this darn internet thingy, but I know I've got a monster connection, and I don't know whether it's the system I'm using that's getting it kicked off. But I am having some issues on that end. So yeah, there is a YouTube link that you can click on there, and you should be able to find me just fine. But anyway, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, again, I apologize for the problems, and it got me a little off kilter on here, finding out that we had all these problems. So I'm going to kind of turn off my little screen here so that I focus 100% on you now. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 reasons why most shop owners have an ordinary business. Okay, now, as I was explaining before, and I don't know whether the screen froze up on you, an ordinary shop is the shop that well, I don't know, you're running around putting out fires, that you're just not, it's not the shop you thought it was going to be. So let's go back to day one. When you first got into this business, what did you really think this business was going to be like? Did you think you'd be able to go do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, and have plenty of money to go on vacation and just kind of walk away from the shop, and you have great people in place? They're going to do all the work, and you're going to be the owner living the American dream, and you're going to have an awesome life. Okay, that's probably what you thought of when you first started your business. And I know it. That's what most people think about. Now let's talk about what your business is really like. You know, do you have that dream? And if so, if the business is running itself and it doesn't require you to be there, you've got great people working for you, you have systems in place, you don't have to put out fires every single day, and it's working great for you, fantastic. That's what I would consider an extraordinary business. And that's what we're going to be talking about, is how to get your business to that kind of level. And that's the important thing. We want to make sure that you have a kick-ass business. And if you don't have a kick-ass business, that's a major league problem. You're doing what 95% of shop owners are doing, which is running around all day long, putting out fires. At the end of the day, you look back at what you did and you just realize you didn't get anything done. You're constantly looking for employees because you can't find good techs. You can't find good salespeople. You're running a business. You feel like you're like a chicken with your head cut off, just running around in circles. And it seems to be the same thing day after day after day. That's what an ordinary business is. That's what 95% of shop owners are going through right now. 5% have the businesses of their dreams. 95% are struggling. And if that's you, fantastic. You're in the right place. Okay. I'm not going to make any judgments on it, because you don't know the things I'm going to be talking about right now to get you over that hump. But after this webinar is over, if we get together in a year and you're still in the same position, now it's going to be your fault. Now there is some shame in being in that, because I'm going to show you how to get out of that rut right here on this webinar. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the 5 most often, the biggest reasons why shop owners fail to kind of cross over into that top 5% and having kick-ass businesses. Okay. The number 5 reason why most shop owners are struggling right now is, quite frankly, they just simply feel overwhelmed. I mean, how about you? Do you sometimes feel like the business is running you? It's running your life. You don't have control over what's going on. In other words, you can't go do what you want when you want, because the business owns you. Without you there, the business does not function. Without you there, all your employees are running around saying, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. You know, like you're reinventing the wheel every single day. So how about you? How do you sometimes feel like that? I mean, you could wake up in the morning with all the great intentions in the world that today I'm going to finally get something done. And then you get sucked into that vortex when you walk into the shop. That vortex is that spinning spiral that you get sucked into every single morning when you walk in. You've got the best intentions of taking your business to the next level, putting some systems in place, doing some marketing that's going to really kick up your car count. And you never really seem to have the time to do it, because the business sucks you in and doesn't let go of you. And that's a major, major problem. Okay. So we want to make sure that you get away from that. Now, again, this is probably the biggest identifier of having an ordinary business versus an extraordinary business. You'll know you have an extraordinary business if, okay, let me give you the test. If you just decided you're not going to go to the shop tomorrow, you're not going to go to it the day after that, the day after that. As a matter of fact, you're not going to go to the shop for 2 full weeks. You're not going to tell anybody. All you're going to say is, I'm not going to be around for 2 weeks. And then you shut up, you throw your phone away. Nobody can contact you for 2 weeks. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think your shop's going to be like when you come back after 2 weeks of them not having access to you? Would you even have a shop to come back to? Would the inmates have been running the asylum into the ground in your absence? If so, well, congratulations, you're in the majority. That's 95% of shops that are run that way. That without the owner, nothing gets done. Only 5% can run on their own without the owner being there. That's what I consider an extraordinary business. Extraordinary businesses have systems in place so that when something happens, everybody knows exactly how to take care of that problem. Okay, so everything has to be systematized, from how you open the shop, how you deal with complaints, how you sell your services, comebacks, warranty items, ordering parts, everything from, disposable parts and getting your core money back. All that kind of stuff has got to have systems for every little bit. Otherwise, you're sitting there having to reinvent the wheel because everybody comes to you to find out the answers. So having systems are extremely, extremely important that will get you out of that vortex, because now it's not relying on you to give the answer. The system has the answer. So let me give you an example of what a system is. Okay, this is a real simple example that I think you'll kind of get the gist. So have you ever made a pot of coffee before? I'm talking about like a Mr. Coffee coffee maker. So if you've ever made a pot of coffee, let's go through the system that it takes in order to make coffee. We're not talking about Keurig cups. We're talking about the good old-fashioned Mr. Coffee. Okay, so you get the Mr. Coffee maker right there. You pull the pitcher off the burner. You put it over to the sink. You pour water into it, and then you pour that pitcher into the top of the coffee maker. You put the pitcher back on the burner. You grab the filter basket. You take a filter. You stick it in the basket. You put the required number of scoops of coffee in there. You push that back in there, and then you plug it in, and you turn it on, and within a few minutes, you have a pot of coffee, exactly the way you thought you'd have it made, okay? That's the system. Whether you know it or not, there is a system for making coffee. Because if we break the system, if we do something other than that system in that correct order, we're not going to get the desired results that we're looking for. Want proof? Well, let's take that same pot of coffee. Let's pull it back off. Let's put water in it. Let's dump it in the top of the coffee maker. We put it back on the burner. We pull out the filter tray, but instead of putting the filter in, we just go ahead and skip that step, right? It's just one step of the system. We can bypass that, right? So we don't put the filter in there. We put the coffee in there. We put the filter tray back in. We plug it in and turn it on, and guess what happens? Well, you get coffee, but it's going to be really crappy, grainy, chewy coffee because you didn't follow the system the way the system is laid out, and you didn't get the results that you're looking for. You got substandard coffee, and chances are you're going to throw it out and have to do it over again. So let's say, okay, I'm going to do all the steps of the system, but I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to do things my own way. So we're going to do things out of order. We don't have to do it the exact way that system is. After all, we know better, right? We can not only sometimes skip steps in the system, but we can do things out of order. So let's take that same pot of coffee. Let's pull it off the burner. Let's put water in it, pour it in the top, put it back on the burner, pull out the filter tray. Then, rather than do it in the correct order, now we put the coffee grounds in, then we stick the filter on top of it. So we just reversed that one little thing. Look, it was only 2 steps, so we just kind of switched them around, right? What could be the harm? Well, we put the filter tray back in, we plug it in, we turn it on, and guess what happens? We get the same chewy, nasty coffee because we did a little thing out of order. Okay, a system is exactly that. It's a system. It's the step by step by step by step by step way of doing things in your shop. And they've got to be done the right way every single time in the right order without skipping steps. Otherwise, you wind up with chaos. You wind up not getting the results that you're looking for. Okay, very, very important. Okay, you got to do those things. You got to systematize everything. That's going to help you get over the hump so that you're not feeling overwhelmed all the time, because you're not the answer man. You're not the fireman putting out fires all day. The systems instruct your employees exactly what you need to do. So got to start working on those systems. Okay. Number 4. Now that was the 5th biggest reason why people fail at having an extraordinary business. Now the number 4 reason is, well, you're just information seekers. Okay. So, information seekers want to go look for more information. So, and this is going to be quite a few of you that are on this webinar right now are going to fall into that trap that you're just an information seeker. So if you came onto this webinar thinking, I'm just going to see what Ron's going to talk about today. Okay. I just want to have more information. I want the latest and greatest information. That's where the problem is. because information alone is not going to solve your problems. You want proof? Well, of course, I'm going to give you the proof, right? So let's talk about weight loss, okay? If you've ever walked around a mall or an airport or a park, you look around, you're going to see a lot of overweight people, right? Okay? It just, they're everywhere. And maybe you are one of them that overweight. You could stand to lose a few pounds. Heck, I can stand to lose a few pounds. So I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, okay? So do you know that there's a simple two-step formula to help you lose weight? A formula that everybody knows. Do you know what it is? Well, quite simply, it's eat less, move more. A two-step formula, and that will help everybody on the planet lose weight. But here's the problem. Most people are information seekers. So what they're going to do, rather than, they know the formula. They know if you eat better and you start exercising, you're going to lose weight. But you look at how many overweight people there are. That's not a secret out there. However, if you go online and look on Google and type in weight loss, you're going to find 147 million pages on Google that are going to talk about weight loss. And again, it's going to come down to the simple two-step formula of eat less, move more. That's what almost all 147 million pages are all about, are how to eat better and how to start exercising better, okay? Yet, look at how many people are overweight. It's not a secret out there. See, so what I'm getting at, it's not the information that's going to get you to the next level. However, most shop owners, that's what they're trying to do. I'm going to find out more information about this. I'm going to find out more information about this. I'm going to find out more information about this. They're information junkies. Now, what's the opposite of an information junkie? Is an implementer, somebody that actually takes the information and actually puts it to use. So you've got to start putting to use what you learn. And I'm going to challenge you at the end of this webinar coming up in just a few minutes. I'm going to challenge you to actually take some action, okay? If you fail at this, by the way, I don't think there's any hope for you, okay? Because it's a very, very, very brain dead, simple action that I'm going to ask you to take. And if you fail that test, good luck, okay? That pretty much proves that you're just an information junkie. You're just looking for information and are unwilling to take some action, okay? So buckle up. I'm going to test you on that in just a little bit. And if you fail, you fail. It's your fault, okay? Because I'm going to make it so brain dead simple for you to take an action unless you do it. This is where your big problem is. You're just not taking action, okay? So that's number 4, okay? Remember, we're going to be talking about the 5 biggest reasons why shops never get to that extraordinary status. Now, give me a second here. I've been talking really fast. And I don't want to run out of voice here or start gagging and coughing because I dried out my throat, okay? So the third biggest reason why shops never get to have an extraordinary status. In other words, the shop that runs by itself and it's the shop of your dreams where you're making the kind of money and you got total freedom from the shop to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and have plenty of money to go and do it, okay, at a moment's notice. So that's an extraordinary shop. Now, the third biggest reason why most shops never get to that point is you, the shop owner, cannot make a decision. And you just simply can't make a decision. It kind of goes back to what I was talking about, the information seekers. They want to keep getting more information so they don't have to make a decision. I'm going to tell you, you have to start making decisions. Excuse me, here I go with my throat. So let me explain. Have you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? If you haven't, it's a great book. As a matter of fact, it got me started to where I am right now. It got me out of the rut of just making about $13,000 per year to where I am right now. So, and it was the start. Read that book. Okay. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But the premise of the book is, back in, I believe it was the 30s and 40s, Napoleon Hill was tasked with talking with the wealthiest, most successful people in the entire world and asked them a series of questions in order to find out what are all the common points between all the most successful people. In other words, is there something that helps people become successful? And what is it? So he went and interviewed these titans of industry, and he narrowed it down to, I believe it was the top 32 or 33 things that they all had in common. But then he listed them in order from the top to bottom of what everybody had and what they really focused on. And at the near the top of everybody's list was the ability to make a smart decision and make a quick decision. See, most people, they fail because opportunities looking at them in the face and they just simply don't make a decision. And that's a major, major problem. I mean, look at it. How many times, go back in your life, how many times have you been given an opportunity that you knew it was the right thing to do, but you just couldn't seem to pull the trigger and actually do something about it, and you've lived to regret it? Now think about that. I know it's really painful to do that. Okay. You've got to get in a habit of making quick decisions. If it feels right, if it makes sense, go and do something about it. Don't sit on it. You don't need to sleep on anything. The right decisions come to you, and they come to you very powerfully, and just go do them. None of this BS story that you keep telling yourself is, well, that's not the way I do things. Well, the way you do things has got you to where you're at right now. And I'm going to tell you, chances are you're not going to be on this webinar if you are thrilled with where you're at right now. So look at what's gotten you to where you're at right now, and maybe start thinking, hey, I got to make some changes. So you need to start making changes. So for that book, they interviewed over 25,000 people. They surveyed them to find out what their biggest regrets were later on in life, of why they didn't achieve the success they're looking for. And the overwhelming reason why they all said they failed at having the life of their dreams was they didn't make the decisions when they were right there in front of them. Okay. So I'm going to give you that test to make a decision to go and do something at the end of this webinar. So coming up, again, I'm going to prove that you're not an information seeker, because I'm going to get you to take action, and I'm going to get you to decide to take an action at the end of this webinar. And again, if you fail this test, I can't help you. Nobody can help you, because you're looking just for more information, and you're not going to do anything about it, and you're not going to decide to actually do anything. Okay, so I'm going to give you that test. If you pass that test, fantastic. You've got a shot. If you don't, again, I can't help you. Okay, so those are the top. That's number 5, number 4, number 3. The number 2 reason why shop owners fail at having the business of their dreams, in other words, that extraordinary business that I talked about, is they're minefield navigators. Now, what the heck is a minefield navigator? Well, quite simply, it's this. Let's say you're walking out of the shop tomorrow, and somebody greets you at the door and says, your car is all the way across that field over there. But while you're working at the shop, this field now has been converted into a minefield. Okay, a minefield, you don't know where the bombs are buried, but you've got to get from your front door of your shop all the way out to your car. Now, let me ask you a question. You've never gone through that minefield before. You have no earthly idea where these mines are buried. How quickly are you going to move? Are you just going to make a mad dash straight for the car and hope you can outrun the mines? Well, let me tell you, that's not a smart way to go about it, because you're just running without a plan and just taking off and seeing if you can outrun things, and chances are it's going to end very, very badly. If you're like most people, you're going to be like, holy crap, I don't know what to do. So you're going to move so slowly. You're going to pick up your foot and you're going to move it like at half an inch. And then your other foot, you're going to move half an inch, because each one of those movements could be your very last one, because you don't know exactly what's underneath your feet. You don't know where the bombs are buried. You don't know where those mines are. So you're going to move really, really, really slowly, because you don't want to screw up. Well, that's what most business owners are doing. When you think about it, they move so slowly because they're afraid to make a mistake. They're afraid that they're going to step on that mine and everything's going to blow up and they're going to lose their business. And that's a big, 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 big problem. Okay. So most people move that slowly because they don't know what to do. But let's say I walked into the picture. Okay. So I walk in, I've got my little big, shield on my chest, and say, I'm a minefield coach. Okay. I've been through this minefield so many times before. I don't know exactly where the bombs are buried, but I know how to get around, and I know the right path to go from your front door out to where your car is. Now, let me ask you a question. How quickly do you think we're going to move? See, if I've been through this minefield several times, I know the right path to go. I may not know where all the bombs are, but I know where they're not. Okay. So I'm going to take a step here. Okay. Where's your first step going to be? Well, it's going to be exactly where I put my foot. As soon as I lift my foot up to go somewhere else, you're going to put your foot exactly where I put my foot. Why? Because I didn't blow up. You know the right place to put your foot, so you know exactly where to go. So if I've been there, I take the next step, you're going to go and you're going to follow and do exactly what I said. I guarantee you're going to do that because you've got somebody that's been there before that knows what to do, and you can swiftly follow them. So as quickly as I move through that minefield with you, you can move with me instead of being there paralyzed in fear, not knowing, are you going to screw up? And you got so many questions. Should I do this or shouldn't I do this or should I do that or this or that? And not taking any action, not moving at all because you're afraid things are going to implode on you, to having me just saying, hey, go do this, and you watch me do it and you do the same thing. Now, how quickly do you think you'd be able to move? See, by being a minefield navigator on your own, you move really slowly. And guess what? You step on a lot of mines along the way. But if you have somebody that's going to walk you through step by step by step on exactly what to do, you can very quickly go through that minefield, which now leads me to the number one reason why most shop owners fail at having the shop of their dreams. It's because they don't have a coach to guide them and push them along the way. They insist on trying to do things their own, trying to figure out everything on their own. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't work that way. I don't know of anybody that's achieved the success level that they've gotten to. Shop owners, professional athletes, business owners, Fortune 500 CEOs, millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires. I don't think there are any trillionaires actually. They all had somebody to help them. They all had a coach that knows exactly what to do. Name any famous actor, any famous, any actor, any athlete that's out there, any business owner, they all can tell you they had somebody help them. They had somebody navigate the minefield with them, show them what to do and what not to do. In other words, you learn from the best. You learn with somebody that's been there, that's done that, that's been successful at it, and you do exactly what they tell you to do. That's how they get to the next level. That's the way this thing works. But there's so many people out there that say, I could do it on my own. Let me ask you a question. How's that working for you? Do you have the shop of your dreams right now? Is the shop running itself without you needing to be there? Are you pulling in the kind of money that you deserve to be making? You're working your ass off. Are you living the lifestyle? Are you living the dream? If so, fantastic. Good to know you. I'm very proud of you, but this webinar is not for you. This is how to take your ordinary shop and make it to an extraordinary shop. And if you're not there yet, there's hope for you. I know there's hope for you. I'm positive. There's not a single person that's on this webinar right now that I know without a doubt could not have an extraordinary shop. Sorry, have to rehydrate again. I'm talking so fast, I'm outstripping my vocal cords of a little juice here. So hang on one second. This is not vodka, by the way. Good, clean water. At least I hope it's clean. So let's get back to here. So look, you've got to have a coach. I don't care who you are. I have several coaches. I have 2 business coaches. I have a trainer that I work out with that shows me exactly what to do. I have a nutrition coach that helps me keep my diet in line, that helps me make sure my body stays balanced. So I rely on coaches day in and day out for all the different areas of my life. Why? Because they've gotten the success I'm looking for. If that person has got an amazing athletic body and I want that amazing athletic body, I'm going to go to the person and say, how do I do this? I'll do exactly what you do, and I'm going to get the exact same results. The same thing with a business owner, okay? So here's why you need to make sure that you do this, because you simply cannot do it on your own. This is something that, I'll be happy to help you with on here. And as a matter of fact, I just put up a button. Let's see if it just tends to take a little longer here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So remember I said I'm going to give you a little bit of a test. Well, we have a coaching group, and look, I'm a coach. I have business partners that have 3 shops that are doing over $4 million in sales every year. They know shops inside and out. I know marketing inside and out. And what we do is help shop owners just like you to get your business to the next level, no matter what your problems are. And we find a lot of shop owners run into the exact same problems. And here's what I want to do. I want to talk with you to see if what we have will work for you. Now, we're not for everybody. Let me tell you this right now. I'm not going to beg you to join our coaching group or to let us help you, because we're only looking for people that are really willing and able to go make changes in their lives. But I'm going to offer you a free consultation just so we can talk about seeing if there's a way that we can possibly help you. And this is that test I had before. Remember, I said something about a test that I have that is going to prove whether you're just an information seeker or you're an action taker, that you're actually willing to make a decision and hop on the phone for 30 minutes and talk with us to see if coaching could potentially help you. And look, I have no idea if coaching can help you, and neither do you. Okay, so we're not going to make the decision for you, and you're not going to make the decision for you either. We have to get on the phone and see if there's something we can help you with. Okay, now before you say, I can't afford coaching and I can't afford this, I'm going to tell you can't afford not to have it. We have coachings that are for very small businesses that can't afford, at least they think they can't afford that. We have special programs specifically for smaller shops. We have very special programs specifically for shops that have been around for a while, that are doing a good business, that just want to take it up to the next level. So no matter where you are at financially right now, we have a coaching program that will work for you. So toss that out. Okay, don't take the wimpy way out and say, I can't afford it. And just you make that decision, you can't afford it. You have no idea that you couldn't afford it. Okay, that you have no idea what we charge either. Okay, and I can pretty much tell you from a marketing guy, look, I know I'm going to give you so many strategies that we're going to easily be able to get a couple cars in your shop a week. And that's going to pay way more than what any coaching that we're going to do would cost you. Okay. So, so throw price out of there. Okay. But if you're curious about why your shop isn't performing the way it should, why you don't have the shop of the dreams, maybe why you don't have a shop that you can be proud of, you want to figure that out, and let's talk about it and see if there is a possibility that we can't help you. And look, if we can't help you, we're going to say, hey, look, we're not the right people for you. I mean, we know where our limitations are, okay? And look, the last thing we're going to do is try to take on a client that we know we can't help. I mean, it just pisses everybody off. You're upset because we're not helping you, and we don't like dealing with people that we're not able to help, okay? So look, this is really it's now in your court. If you want to figure out, will coaching help you, then by all means, let's talk. Now, you might have said, look, I've had a coach before and that just didn't work out. I'm not going to do that again. Well, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, okay? Just because you had somebody that couldn't help you before doesn't mean a coach isn't right for you. It's just you had the wrong coach. I know probably a lot of you right now are on this call right now that you have a coach and you're not getting what you need. As a matter of fact, if you're on this call and you're looking for more help and you have a coach, you've got the wrong coach. I could pretty much tell you that right now, because a coach should be able to help you get to where you're at. Okay. Now, the coach isn't always to blame. Okay. A coach can give you some good information, but you're the one that has to take the action on there. But a good coach is going to help you get over that hump and get those things going. Okay. So again, toss out the thing that because I had a coach before and it didn't work out, that this isn't going to work out for you, because we're different. We do things our own way. We may not be the right fit for you. That's the reason why we have to talk. We don't just, I could easily just put up an application and just have everybody apply and you're part of the coaching group. We don't do things that way. We got to make sure it's a win-win situation before we accept you as a client, and you should really be interviewing us to make sure we're the right coaching people for you. Okay, so just be very, very aware of it. That's really all this is. It's a conversation to see if there's something we can help you. Now, if you think money's a problem, and chances are that's the reason why you're on this webinar, is because money is a problem. Well, that's a problem that you've got to get over. Okay, you're not making the money that you want to be making and you should be making because what you're doing in your shop. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to keep getting the same results, right? Look, I didn't come up with that. That's the way it is. You can keep looking for things to change, or you can go ahead and change yourself and get those results that you're looking for. But if you think money's the problem, let me talk about that part right now. Let me take that out of your mind. So, as I said, I'm the marketing guy. So let's say if we just got you 3 more cars in your shop per week, which I honestly think is going to be very, very easily to do with the marketing that I show my clients to do. Okay, so if we got you 3 more cars per week, and let's say your average RO is $300. Now, if it's not $300, you really need a coach, okay, because you need to get that average RO up. So not only can we help you get your average RO up to 300, and actually 300 is low for our clients, but I'm just going to use this as an example. So if your average RO is $300 and we get you 3 more cars per week, that's an extra $47,000 in sales that you would have just from getting 3 more cars in your shop per week. And I know we can get you that. Okay, so that's an extra $47,000 in sales you would have not had if you didn't have my marketing that I'm going to show you as part of our coaching. Okay, what about adding $20 to each invoice? Let's say we kicked your invoice up a mere $20, and we can show you dozens of ways to do that. Well, let's say you do 1,000 invoices over a year. I don't know the size of your business. Maybe you do 2,000, 3,000, maybe you do 500, but let's just use 1,000 for an example. That means that's an extra $20,000 in sales. From that alone, an extra $20,000. That more than pays for a year's worth. I mean, that way than more pays for a year's worth of coaching. That's a simple $20 per invoice that you're not getting right now, that we can show you a dozen ways to kick it up an extra $20. Let's look at your profits. Let's not even increase your bottom. Let's not increase your car count. Let's not increase anything. Let's just increase the way that you work your business and get you an extra 5% to the bottom line. See, the average shop that's out there only makes about 6% of their gross is what they actually make. Well, our shops average about 20%. So for every $100,000, they're putting $20,000 in their pocket. So if you got a $500,000 business as an owner, you're making $100,000 if it's doing right. And if you're not doing that, well, there's some problems, right? We got to figure that out. But let's say if we only kicked it up an extra 5% over where you're at right now, and you were doing that $500,000 a year in business, that means it's an extra $25,000 right there in your pocket. You see, by not having a coach, you're missing out on these opportunities. Okay, that's close to $100,000 I just talked about that you're not putting in your pocket because you don't know what we know. What a coach can help you with is find the money to make this pay for itself. Okay, so again, take the money out of your mind and don't say, okay, I'm not even going to talk because I can't afford it. Again, you're not making a decision because you don't want to make a decision. Okay. That's the reason why we got to talk and figure out, does this make sense for you? So again, click that button where it says coaching group application, where it says click here to apply now. What you're really doing is you're applying to have a conversation on the phone. You are not giving me money. It's absolutely free. We'll discuss it. We'll see if it works for you. And then if it works, great. If not, we'll point you in the right direction. We'll let you know what you need to be working on, who you should be looking up, why you should be doing it. I mean, we're here to help you in any way. We're not going to leave you high and dry. Again, so click that button where it says click here to apply now. And then when you do that, just type the information in, and then you'll go to another screen where you can choose the time to talk with one of us. Okay. Just do that, okay? Again, you've got to start. You got to get out of that getting ready to get ready. In case you haven't realized, this business has changed dramatically over the years. This is not your father's auto repair shop. This isn't even your auto repair shop anymore. This is auto repair 2.0. It's like the next generation, and things have changed dramatically, and you've got to change. You can't keep doing the things that you've been doing in the past and expect them to work now. Okay, that just doesn't work. That's what's unique about us, is because My partners still own auto repair shops. They're in it every single day. They see exactly what works. We work with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients, and we know exactly what's working right now and what's not working. And I can tell you what's not working is the stuff that people used to do yesterday. There's a whole new ball game out of here, and just think of it. You're running out of that runway. There's going to be a big consolidation in this industry coming up real soon. I'm sure you've heard everybody talking about it, or there are just too many shops out there. And the smaller shops, the shops that are not really well-run shops, will be obliterated very, very quickly. So you got to decide which side you're going to be on. Are you going to outlast this by doing things and making the changes now? Or are you going to let the new economy, the new way of doing business just run you over like a steamroller and put you out of business? I don't want that to happen to you. I mean, heck, look, you took the time to be on this webinar. You took the time to learn the things I'm talking about right now. I don't want to see you, become a statistic. And the statistics are really going to be not so good for a lot of auto repair shops. Things are changing. And if you insist on doing things the old way, you're going to get the old results. You've probably noticed your marketing doesn't work as well as it used to. Your car count has been going down. Your average RO is going down. Your profits are going down. You're working harder than ever. You can't find good techs these days. See, this is not the same business. You cannot run it the same way you always did. You've got to make that change. And it starts with clicking that button and talking to one of us to see if there's something we can help you with. And again, if we can't help you, we'll tell you, sorry, but we can't help you. And then we'll point you in the right direction. Okay. Now you may say, look, I don't need a coach. I've gone through the other coaching systems and I've worked with coaches before and everything, but look, you're here. So obviously you didn't get exactly what you're looking for out of there. And again, as I said before, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because it didn't work with that coach does not mean a coach is not for you. Whether it's us or somebody else, I'm going to tell you, if you want to get to that next level, you need a coach. Again, and I'm being totally serious. It doesn't have to be us. You need a coach. You need somebody to get you over that hump because you're probably spinning your wheels and maybe your income is going backwards. You need a change. You need somebody to push you and force you and guilt you or whatever it's going to take, grab you by the neck and shove you forward towards doing the right things if you want to survive this consolidation in the industry that's going on right now. But you might want a coach. Look, you owe it to your family. Whether you like it or not, you're working your ass off and your family either reaps the rewards or deals with the problems that's happening. Okay, so you're there doing the best you possibly can to put food on your table, put your kids through school, your grandkids, have the life of your dreams, have the retirement of your dreams. That's all on you. That's 100% of the responsibility that you took on. But you owe it not only to your family, but you owe it to your employees and their families too, because you pay them, and what you pay them and your ability to keep your doors open and paying your techs, that's all on you. That's not on them. You've got to do what you got to do as the business owner. So, it goes much further than just your immediate family. So you've got that enormous responsibility, and it's tough running a shop. I know it. It's sometimes it's soul sucking, work that you have to do, but it's tough. Those long hours, it's frustrating. You don't have enough customers, not making enough money. And the result, well, you're probably getting burned out. How about you? Are you getting burned out? I know a lot of shop owners are getting burned out right now because they're just tired of all of the crap. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. As we talked about before, if you're going to go try to navigate a minefield, which is like running an auto repair shop, follow somebody that's been there and done that before and can show you exactly what to do. It all starts with making a very, very brain dead, simple, free decision to go click that button. That's in that box. I think it's right there. Click that button and schedule a time so we can talk to see if coaching's for you. If you can't do that, if you're just sitting there saying, well, I just wanted to see what you're talking about, I can't help you. Nobody can help you. if you can't make a decision and say, oh my God, somebody's going to sell me on something, if you're that scared to even take a chance at having a conversation where it's on the other end of a phone, for God's sake, if you can't make a decision to talk with somebody on the other end of the phone, there's nothing we can do to help you. There's nothing anybody can do to help you. So I'm going to do this challenge right now. Okay, it's time to man up. It's time to say, let's do something different. So click that button. Let's hop on the phone and talk. And that's all we're going to do is figure out if this is going to be for you. Will this work for you? I don't know. The only way we know is if we can talk together. So let's talk about that phone call. This is going to be a real quick 30-minute strategy session. We're going to find out more about your shop. Excuse me. More about your shop. We're going to figure out where the holes are. Typically, within a few questions of asking you, we'll be able to immediately identify where the problems are in your business. And if we can talk you through a couple of them, by all means, we'll give you, some answers. But in most cases, it might require a little bit more than that. And we'll let you know. It's that simple. Again, make that decision to make a change. You're going to run out of runway here. See, you're zooming down the runway, busting your ass, trying to get that thing to lift off. But the problem is you're not pulling back at a joystick. You're not doing a damn thing. You're sitting there thinking, should I press that button over there and talk with somebody to see if there's a better way to do something? I mean, you're already proving every day that your way is not getting you to where you want to go. I'm not trying to talk down to you or talk bad about what you're doing, but if you're here, your business is not doing as good as you thought it would be by now. So you got to get some help. You're not doing it on your own. It's time to investigate getting some help. And look, we're on the other end of the phone. We're not face to face. I'm not going to go and grab your wallet and say, you must join our coaching. Because you know what? If we have to talk you into it, chances are we don't want you. Okay. We're going to show you what we do. We'll show you the results that our clients are getting. We're going to show you exactly why it makes sense, and then leave it up to you. Either you can continue doing what you're doing right now, or you can make a change because you're zooming down that runway, waiting for that plane to take off, but you're not pulling back on that joystick. And you're going to run out of runway, and you're going to be one of those statistics that is a major, major problem. Okay, so let's go and fix this, and let's get this all taken care of, and just click that button. I think it's right over there. My screen is kind of backwards here, but I'm pretty sure it's right over there. Click that button, and let's get on the phone right now, okay? Because, look, I want you to have the shop of your dreams. I want you to succeed. I want you to have a shop that's beyond your wildest dreams and get you to that next level. You can't do it on your own. You've proven you're not able to do it on your own. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you normal. That's all it's proving, that you're normal. 95% of shop owners will never seek out a coach, will never work with a coach, and therefore they are stuck doing what you're probably doing right now, which is sitting here on a webinar, trying to find the answers and figure out why your shop isn't performing the way it should, when a simple phone call could change all that. You could be this close to having the shop of your dreams, and you'll never know because you won't even pick up the phone to talk with somebody. Okay, let's take care of that. Go click that button and let's talk to see if coaching's right for you. Again, it's totally up to you. You can either sit there and wonder how come your business isn't where it is, or let's go ahead and do something. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for being on this webinar, and hope to talk to you real soon. Now, click that button. Take care. Bye-bye.